Today, let's talk about your day. Perhaps you went to work. Perhaps you prepared a meal, picked up your children from school, spent some time with them. As you moved through your day, didn't you feel that you were interacting with a world completely independent of you? Didn't you feel that you were working with people outside of you? That there were objects, colors, sounds that were solid and enduring. Think of the time that you talked to your colleague. You truly felt that your colleague was sitting next to you. And when you tasted your food, you felt as if the taste belonged to the food itself. And when you saw colors, ladies and gentlemen, you truly felt that those colors belong to objects surrounded by you. Isn't it how your day went by? Always associating people and objects surrounded by you. You always felt that this entire world revolves around you. But is it what actually happened? Think about it. Everything that you experienced throughout your day was a resultant of causes coming together. Everything that you've experienced. If you take a very simple example like seeing a rose, think about how that happens. For the mind to perceive a red rose, vipaka needs to come into fruition. If you ever want to know what vipaka looks like, what you experience right now is how vipaka would look like. So if you go back to that very simple example of seeing a rose, now how does that happen? Let's imagine this is a strand of vipaka, and then this vipaka comes into fruition, giving rise to rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara and vijnana. Simply, it gives rise to the mind. So when these causes and conditions, your eye needs to work, neurons need to work, then your brain needs to work. When all these conditions and causes align, the perception of a red rose happens. But the thing is, when this happens, we always feel the red rose is somewhat in front of us. We always feel the redness the mind perceives belongs to this object that is in front of you. Don't we feel that this solid object is red? But ladies and gentlemen, that is not the truth. The redness happens in the mind. This rose is the perception. This is the aggregation process, and as the resultant of the aggregation process, the mind perceives a red rose. But when that happens, it appears as if this red rose is right in front of you. That you are here and the red rose is here, and that you are looking at it. This is how the mind feels it. This is how it appears. Because that is the process. That is the minding process. What we need to realize is that even though it appears as if the red rose is in front of you, the redness the mind experience is the mind itself. It doesn't mean that there's nothing here. No, there's energy. Energy is what's there. That's the only thing that's there. But this redness, these colors the mind perceives, that is the resultant of this aggregation process. You would always feel that there are solid objects and there are fixed people that exist outside of you. But ladies and gentlemen, all you have ever experienced in your life is nothing more than the mind itself. The colors the mind perceives, they do not exist in the outside world. Colors itself is the mind. The taste does not belong to food. Taste is a perception of the mind. But as long as we are unaware of it, this ignorant mind always leaves us with a feeling that we are associating people and objects that exist in an outside world. But to speak the truth, you've never experienced an outside world. You have no idea what it looks like. You have never felt it, never seen it, never touched it. No. All the experiences that you've ever experienced is the mind itself. And when does that happen? That happens when vipaka comes into fruition. So all the experience you go through right now, so the experience of watching this video is nothing more than these causes and conditions getting aligned. The experience of hearing that happens right now, the experience of hearing is a resultant of vipaka coming into fruition. And when does that happen? When such causes get aligned. So tomorrow, when you go to work, when you truly feel that you are surrounded by your colleagues, your friends, think of this truth. Try and apply the truth into every experience that arises. When you feel that you are surrounded by your friends, your colleagues, your family, try and realize that they do not exist outside of you, that there is no world independent of you. Everything the mind perceives is nothing more than a resultant of aggregation process that arises only when vipaka comes into fruition. But unfortunately, because of ignorance, it doesn't let you experience the experience as it is, but leaves you with an impression that everything the mind perceives exists in the outside world. But colors, taste, touch, smell, none of these things exist in the outside world. Sight, taste, touch, smell, all these things arise when causes come together. And when does that happen? When those causes are present. You can never see the same person twice. Even though when you go back to work tomorrow and when you see your colleague, you may feel that you're seeing a very familiar person. It's the same person that you worked with yesterday. This is how you might feel tomorrow. But even though you may feel like that experience of seeing that person arises when these causes are present. There is no need of a time. Similarly, there is no need of a doer for sight to happen. All that happens in this world is causes coming together, and as a resultant, sight, taste, touch, smell, hearing, and thought arise. It's a never-ending stream of consciousness that arises and ceases. That's why we say that you can never see the same person twice. You can never talk to the same person twice, because it is a brand new chitra, a brand new consciousness. And everything, the red, the greens, and the blues are nothing more than perceptions of the mind. So tomorrow, be mindfully aware. Be aware how moment after moment these countless mental events arise and pass away. Sight arises and ceases away. Hearing arises and ceases away. That's all that happens in this world. And try and experience that there is no existing, never changing world outside of you, but every experience is the mind itself. It's vipaka coming into fruition. Causes coming together is all that happens. So until I see you next time, be aware, be mindfully aware of all these experiences that arise as a resultant of causes coming together.